I'm here to give you my notes from episode 11, His Butler Taking Off. I mentioned earlier that my partner often says that this season of Kuro feels like a love letter to all of the lifelong Kuro fans, and that's what this episode in particular feels like. It is beautifully done, and there's just so many little details to pick up on. One of my favorite things from this episode is the update to the Phantom Hive Manor kitchen and downstairs area. It looks so much more inviting. It just has this warmer air to it, and it feels like the real Phantom Hive Manor kitchen. We also get this up-close shot of the teapot spout as Sebastian's pouring Ciel's morning tea. And even the teapot spout has detail on it, and they went the extra mile with this and put little finite details in places that they didn't have to be, and we wouldn't have even really noticed, but they're there, and it makes it this very decadent experience. I love Ciel's little going to town outfit, and now I want to make that cosplay and wear it all the time. I love Ciel and Sebastian's little chibi faces while Prince Soma and Agni are fighting. I also just love that Prince Soma and Agni are there and happy and existing in the Phantom Hive Manor space again. Noticed a difference when they are at the optometrist getting glasses for Mayrin, when there's this shot of Sebastian. In the manga, it's just Sebastian, but they put glasses on him in the episode, and I thought that was really funny. Really added to the overall effect. I also like that they made Ciel try on different hats. It was like classic Kuro humor, and I just loved it. The market research line is my favorite line of this episode. Also enjoy that we get a bit of story progressing material in this episode. Claudia Phantom Hive being one of the names on the locket, and I think Ciel's reaction to it shows how he has developed and changed as a character as well, and I think it's really neat. Absolutely would not be the going to town episode without Sebastian dressing up as a unicorn. Again, it's that classic Kuro humor where it verges on the ridiculous, and it's brilliant. I love that. I also love at the end where Ciel takes Sebastian's idea to have Irene promote the perfume as his own, and Sebastian has that line again, "Your greed knows no bounds." I just think it's perfect. It's such a lovely little episode, and it was a great way to wrap it up. So now I'm going to be giving you my final ranking of the episodes, which is very difficult, so keep in mind that I love all of the Weston episodes with all of my heart. I'm so grateful to have gotten this season. Went through and ranked them as I was watching, which ones I liked best. It was really, really difficult. So reserve the right to change my mind about this ranking. Don't take this too seriously, this was just for fun. While I gave you the ranking, I'm going to make one last cup of tea. I have this winter cherry tea that my partner bought for me while we were in St. Catharines earlier this year, and it's really wonderful. I have a special place in my heart for cherries, so I'm going to go make this, and then we will get into the list. I am back with my winter cherry tea in my thistle mug, and I am ready to talk about most favorite and least favorite episodes. I will be leaving out episode 11, as I previously discussed. It's not really part of the Weston arc, even though it is included in this season, and so I don't think it's fair to rank it against all of the rest of Weston. It's existing over here in this glorious little bubble of unicorn outfits, chocolate as market research, and fitting as many snakes as you can into a satchel. Cheers! This tea is so yummy, and it reminds me of being on that trip back in the winter, and I wish I could go back. Starting at the bottom with number 10, I have episode 6, His Butler Scheming. Now, don't come for me. I know this is an excellent episode. All of them are excellent episodes, but this just happens to be my least favorite out of the bunch. I find the cricket just a little bit less compelling personally than the cloak and dagger running around going undercover that the rest of the arc is. And that's just me. I'm just not a sports person. So this is the episode where we get Vincent's backstory, we see more of the cricket, and then Sebastian goes after Undertaker. So that's number 10. Coming in at number 9, we have episode 9, His Butler Having a Laugh. This one is lower on my list just because it is such a heavy episode and I feel exhausted after watching it. It's still, I'm gonna say this every time, but it's still a brilliant episode and it is shocking and stunning. If I had to pick an episode of Weston to rewatch if I was having a bad day, this would not be the episode. It is the one where we start getting the P4's confession. We find out that Derek is doing some sketchy stuff behind the scenes, and it's a very weighty episode. I know that Kuro's heavy, it's kind of the point. It's a very dark story. This is just my personal preference from this week and this week alone. It will change next week, probably. Coming in at number 8, we have episode 7, His Butler Final Match. Again, this is a cricket episode. It's so much fun. So many tactics going on in this one. We get the whole letter of the law, not the spirit of the law moment, Green Hill standing up for Blue House. It's a great episode. Coming in at number 7, shockingly, we have episode 1, which I thought would wind up higher up on my list, but I think just because I know this arc so well, there's a lot of exposition in this one, which is needed and is almost impossible to avoid in a first episode. But for me, it knocked it lower down on my list because I have probably watched it one too many times and I know it so well. It's iconic, it's gorgeous, we get so much scene setting, and it's a really solid episode. Coming in at number 6, we have episode 3, His Butler Plotting. This is where Prince Soma shows up. We have the Maurice Cole confrontation. We have Sebastian throwing the photographs from the rooftop. Amazing episode. Very intense. And that lands it pretty solidly in the middle for me. Coming in at number 5, we also have episode 5, His Butler Gaining Admittance. His Butler Gaining Admittance. I keep stumbling over that one every single time. This is the episode where CL is recommended for the cricket team. He goes to thank Sebastian. We have the team entrances, and we have like this fun little party with everybody. We get to see some of the old characters, and it was just a really fun episode. In at number 4, we have episode 4. Some of these are matching up, it's great. But we have episode 4, His Butler Colluding. We get the iconic Swan Gazebo scene. It's really intriguing, and there's more of like that we're sneaking around and trying to figure out what's going on. We get the library scene, and then we get Sebastian roundhouse kicking a lantern through the Violet Wolf house window and catching everything on fire. It's a great episode and one of my favorites. It's so much fun. Don't commit arson. Coming in 3rd place, I have the final episode. Okay, I know it's not the final episode, but the final episode involving Weston. Episode 10, His Butler Assenting. This is the final showdown. Tea with the queen, going back to the manor, and the grass just being grass. And there's something really charming about this episode, you know, after we get past the fight scene. Love all of the really dynamic moments. It's intense. Sebastian gets a haircut, you know, and then we get this ominous meeting with the queen. We get what she says afterwards. And then we finally go home to the manor and we get to see everybody, and it kind of feels like coming home ourselves. It's a really good episode, and a really solid note to end on for this arc. I did not make a big enough cup of this. And again, another matchup coming in at number 2 is episode 2, His Butler in Disguise, which is a very appropriate title for this episode. This is the one where we have Sebastian and CL going full undercover. It's so fun to see them drop their disguises for a little bit and go back to playing at their other disguises, Butler and Earl. I think this one lands so far up on the list for me because we also get the scene with Violet mixing the drinks and blowing bubbles into his teacup. It's one of my favorite scenes. We also get introduced to Harcourt. It's just a really robust episode, and it's so much fun. And then coming in at number 1 is my favorite episode, episode 8, His Butler Locking Up. We get the cricket victory. CL lays it on thick while he's being carried off the field. We get them discussing how they won. Everyone comes in to celebrate with him. The boat parade happens, which is such a beautiful scene. It's so fun. We get to see the Queen and the double Charleses. We get the party afterwards with all of the watercolor. It's so incredible. And then we finally get to go to the midnight tea party. And this is the midnight tea party while it's still kind of fun before everything starts falling apart. We get Cheslock playing the organ, which is also the secret door into the tea party. Everything about this episode was so dynamic and gorgeous. It was a visual feast to look at. Get the core of Weston here. It is so much fun. It's the running around after dark, going to a midnight tea party. It really like encapsulates what I think of when I think about Weston, and so that is why it is number 1 on my list. Again, these are just my personal preferences this week. They will likely change. I love every single last bit of the Weston arc. Please let me know what your favorite or least favorite episodes were in the comments down below. And I have no doubt that I will be back to talk to you more about Weston soon. The Weston Wintertime project is ongoing. At the time of filming this, I'm not sure if there will be 1 or 2 more videos after this, but I think it's going to be 1 more video. So keep an eye out for that. That's the end of my tea, and that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for being here for my Weston dissertation. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!